YouTube. It's your boy Showtime, and we're gonna be reacting to something a little different, man. We got top 10 unusual people that are 1 in a million, part 2. I don't know what's gonna go on in this video, but spare me, alright? Don't go away. Don't go away. Sit tight with me, and we're gonna react to this together. You feel me? Alright, let's get into it.
From rare conditions people were born with to rare side effects from old age treatments, all the way to a boy who inspired people around the world. We've got some incredible people to talk about today as we cover part 2 of the top 10 unusual people that are 1 in a million. Starting off this list in our...
I won't be surprised if I'm not on this list. Yeah, I know, right? Who the fuck am I, right?
Number 10 spot, we have CHALLI. CHALLI is a person who is diagnosed with what is called Hutchinson's-Gilford progeria, most often referred to as just progeria. This is a disease that affects Hutchinson's-Gilford progeria. On this list in our number 10 spot, we have CHALLI. CHALLI is a person who is diagnosed with what is called Hutchinson's-Gilford progeria, most often referred to as just progeria. This is a disease that affects about 1 in every 8 million people, and basically it is a genetic mutation that causes the appearance of rapid aging. Other symptoms include things like having a limited range of motion, and unfortunately in many cases, a hardening of the arteries. Aside from being diagnosed with this rare thing, CHALLI is also extremely unique because of the fact that she has doubled her life expectancy by living into her 30s. CHALLI has detailed just a few of the struggles she went through while growing up and explained how she was teased in school, but she says it's one of the things that made her stronger. She never let the haters, the treatments, or the medication break her spirit, and those around her talk about how bright of a light she is.
God bless her, man, because I don't know, with today and how the system is today type shit, suicide would have definitely been, you feel me, for those kind of people, man. I mean, because why you gonna bully somebody, you feel me, like, people are just dumb. Like, people are just dumb. But, thank God she's strong, because
and how much of an inspiration she is. In our number 9 spot today, we have MACKENZIE FOX-BYRNE. MACKENZIE is apparently more like 1 in almost 8 billion because it is said that he is the only person in the world with his specific genetic disorder. MACKENZIE left doctors shocked when they found a mutation in his genes that they had never seen before and haven't seen since. Tests were originally...
Mutation in his gene? Oh shit, is he part of the X-Men? That shit is real?
Conducted when MACKENZIE's mom noticed that he was a little bit behind her other children in his development, and testing showed that MACKENZIE in every cell has an extra part of a chromosome. Like, if we were to think of chromosomes as being made up of beads, he's just got a couple extra beads on his. MACKENZIE certainly has some struggles because of this thing that makes him so unique, like how he is unable to speak, and since he is the only one to have ever been known to have this condition, there's a ton of uncertainty surrounding him, which cannot be an easy thing to go through. But despite all of that, MACKENZIE is happy, kind, and loving, and it's said that he loves to snuggle and is simply just a lovely boy. In our number 8 spot today,
he can't talk?
We have MILLIANNA Worthy. MILLIANNA was born with something that I'm truly not sure what the odds are of happening, but it's gotta be slim. When she was born, MILLIANNA looked a lot like her mother, and her grandmother, and her great-grandmother. As it turns out, MILLIANNA was born with what is called poliosis, which is a condition that creates a lack of pigment in the hair and the skin surrounding it. This itself isn't the rarest condition on this list, but what is rare is that all 4 of the women, MILLIANNA being the 4th, have the same patch of white hair in the same spot on their heads. Like, that has got to be some kind of an anomaly, right?
Yeah, that is
MILLIANNA's
crazy.
great-grandmother was adopted, so it isn't quite clear if this unique quality goes back even further, but what is most peculiar is that MILLIANNA's mom's siblings don't have the same white patch, so it really is just a luck of the genetic straw on who gets this cool little feature.
Yeah,
Other than her unique features, MILLIANNA is definitely a strong contender for cutest on this list. I mean, look at how sweet she was as a baby with those cute little white bangs. In our number 7 spot today, we have baby Connor. Little Connor here was born in 2012, and he was born with something that is known as thumb aplasia. When Connor's dad first saw his son in the delivery room, he began scanning his new sweet little baby, and that was when he looked at the attending pediatrician and said, "I think we have some missing digits here." As it turns out, baby Connor was born without any thumbs. This actually isn't as rare as I would have thought, as it...
Alright. It's like, we technically really need our thumbs. Like, I feel like thumb is the most important finger in your hand. Cause it's like, how... So I'm not making fun, like, jokes or anything like that. But I'm just seeing, like, how can you, like, go live a whole life without, like, you know, no thumbs? Like, that's crazy. Like, I'm trying to pick up my phone, and that, nah, that has to be, nah, don't cut my ass, man. I know my phone is fucked up, y'all, but that's crazy though. That's
It apparently
amazing.
affects about 1 in every 100,000 patients, but the strange thing about it is that no one is exactly sure what causes this. Of course, Connor's parents began to worry about what Connor's life would look like because of this, and it would be irresponsible and untruthful for me to say that there would be no issues or struggles at all, but children always exceed our expectations when it comes to their ability to adapt. I mean, at the time, baby Connor had no idea that he was born without thumbs or even what thumbs were. He just learned how to pick up objects and use his hands in his own way. Apparently, what makes Connor's case even more unique is that it's uncommon for children who are born without thumbs to have 4 other fully functioning normal fingers. Doctors came up with a surgical plan, however, to create Connor a thumb, and surgery was incredibly successful. By the age of 2.5, Connor was already used to his new hands, so I can only imagine how well he's doing all these years later. And another Spike news. Okay, I don't know who this person is, as this was just one of the coolest things that I found on Reddit, but whoever they are, they were born with a scar on their eye. A user called Spike News posted a few photos of their eye with the scar, and it literally looks like it's a black hole that's in the midst of swallowing a galaxy. It's so cool, so interesting. Eyes are beautiful and strange. While this is something that can certainly cause different vision impairments and difficulties, the person who shared these images explained that they were lucky enough to be born with the scar, but without any trouble attributed to it. They said basically the only thing different is that their pupils are just different sizes, and honestly, I think that's pretty cool. It's something small, but it's super unique. In our number 5 spot today, we have Paul KARASON. You may have heard of Paul before because he shot to fame on the...
Alright. I don't want to joke on anybody's, you know, situation or whatever, but looking at this man's picture, he didn't, like, remind you of a Smurf? Like Papa Smurf? I know y'all was thinking it. Don't front. Like, we're not joking. Like, as soon as I seen this picture, I thought of Papa Smurf.
The internet in 2008 due to his unique condition. He appeared on the Today Show to talk about his experience with what is called argyria. Basically, he had dermatitis on his face, and to treat it, he began to take silver for 10 years. And this argyria is the super rare condition that happens if silver builds up in your body over a long time. It can turn your skin and your eyes blue, and that is exactly what happened to Paul. Silver was a far more common treatment back in the day when we didn't really know the side effects of it because it has antibacterial properties, but in the 1930s, penicillin was found to be far more effective. Paul was 62 years old in 2003 when he passed away, but it doesn't appear to have been linked to the argyria. It is said that he had a few other health problems that he had been dealing with for a few years. In our number 4 spot today, we have ZHENHUAN. Yu actually holds a Guinness World Record for the thing that sets him apart, and the record is for being the hairiest man in the world.
Yo, son, you look like a fucking panda bear. That's crazy. Yo, alright, I'm gonna stop.
With over 96% of his body covered in hair, Yu had no easy time growing up. We all all know how cruel people can be, and during his time growing up, a lot of people teased him because of this thing that sets him apart. You did not let this get to him or break his spirit, however, and he became even more ambitious than he already was. He has gone on to have a career in acting, and in 2007, he started a campaign to be allowed to carry the Olympic torch at the Games the following year. In our number 3 spot today, we have DEDE KOSWARA. DEDE was a man from Indonesia who spent his life working as a carpenter. Unfortunately, he also suffered from a very rare disease called EV, or as many people commonly refer to it, tree man syndrome. This disease causes the human papillomavirus to grow uncontrollably, which leads to the development of growths that resemble tree bark. For a long time in his life, DEDE was ridiculed for having something that he simply could not control, but thankfully in his later years that began to change. There should have never been any change that needed to be made, as no one should have ever been cruel or rude to DEDE in the first place, but I'm grateful that people began treating him with kindness and that he began receiving help and treatments. Sadly, in 2016, DEDE passed away at the age of 44 due to some health problems that all related back to his condition. It's important that we remember him and what he went through, because although his condition is extremely rare, that doesn't mean he is the only person who has had it. It's important to remember to treat other people with kindness. In our number 2 spot today, we have Tom Stanford. Tom Stanford is an English paracyclist, and in 2011, he won the National Paracycling Circuit race, and he also has what is known as MDP syndrome. This is an extremely rare metabolic disorder that causes fatty tissue to not be able to be stored underneath the skin. As of December 2014, there were less than 12 cases of MDP syndrome ever diagnosed. Tom has a connective tissue disorder that affects his hands and feet. He also has poor flexibility in his limbs. He has type 2 diabetes, as well as moderate hearing loss in both ears. What I'm trying to say is that Tom may have been dealt a difficult hand in life, but he really did not let that stop him one bit. Other than being a successful cyclist, he's also a super successful academic and an inspiration. In our number 1 spot today, we have ZANZIMAN ELLIE. ZANZIMAN is from Rwanda, and he was born with something called microcephaly, which is essentially where a baby is born with a small head. There are varying degrees of this condition, but sometimes the cause for the small head is because the brain didn't quite develop properly, or because it stopped growing after birth. Because of his unique appearance and other differences, this has led people in his town to treat him as sort of a social outcast. This has led ZANZIMAN to spend his free time retreating to the forest on his own. He very clearly loves to run and play and is fascinated with the things he's seeing around him. It's like his happy place. Because ZANZIMAN cannot speak and has trouble hearing, he hasn't had access to education for most of his life, but that is said to have changed a few years ago after more people heard about him and his story. Max, which is an African-based online channel, filmed a documentary on ZANZIMAN and his mom, who are both incredible people. There was a GoFundMe attached with the documentary, and with donations from all over the world, it is said that ZANZIMAN has now been enrolled at a special needs school where he has made new friends. ZANZIMAN is truly one in a million, and his sweet spirit is so clearly seen by those who surround him. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you next time.
Yo, not for none, at the end of the day, just because you're born differently, it doesn't mean that you don't deserve, like, you know, a happy and a normal, you know, life. Feel me? You know, sometimes these people born with these stuff is more blessed than we are. Like, normal people. And they're literally stronger than us. Like I said earlier, like, most people would have broke down and, like, committed suicide type shit off of, you know, their condition type shit. And, you know, it's fucked up that they gotta get bullied and all this other stuff, and they gotta feel weird or, you know, hide, you know, just scared of life because of their condition type shit. But, you know, it's not good to make fun of people, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, though, and please make sure you leave a big thumbs up for your boy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.